Welcome to One North Maine, BCA's magazine show. I'm your host, Eamon Convey. On this week's episode, we will take an in-depth look at the Brockton art scene. We'll start off downtown at Enso Flats, where Brockton artist Duken Delpe displayed his wonderful exhibit. We'll then move on to the high school for the Brockton High Art Show. Then it's over to the main library where Brockton Public School teachers displayed their amazing artwork. Lastly, we will head over to Gallery 33 inside the Stacey Adams Cultural Building for the closing show of local Brockton artist John Adams. Let's take a ride around Brockton and see all the beautiful art that is being created. Well, we have made our way downtown to the gallery at Enso Flats. Recently, a local Brockton artist by the name of Duken Delpe displayed his beautiful and thought-provoking art sourced from recyclable materials. Let's go inside and see what Duken's created for us.
Can do great things. I'm seeing it right now in the South End. All the high-end, all the expensive places are moving to the South End. It was a very bad neighborhood, they said, but now it's getting great attention. Brockton has a lot to offer. We are building, we are having a lot of children, we have a lot of talent in Brockton. Please keep it up, because that's what makes us. And for the work, it's all work. It's simple. The work will tell you what they are. So if you have questions, let me know, but the work is here. So enjoy it.
So we're here with the man of the hour, Duken Delpe. You can see some of his beautiful work hanging right behind us. Duken, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your inspiration?
My inspiration start in Brockton, basically. This is the city where I live. This is the city where I get all my materials. And those work I'm showing here tonight, they are all connected with the city. I love art since I was a kid, and I always use my surrounding. Anything that is around me inspires me. And as you will see in the show, a lot of the pieces have very current event, so they are contemporary pieces. Like you will see the technology pieces, like the piece behind us right now, it's about mass incarceration. So even though the materials are from Brockton, but it's a broad conversation. It's about the world we are living in right now. It's about our country. So it's all inclusive. Everything has something to play with.
Well, we have found another Brockton legend, Arnie Danielson, who is the president of Brockton Arts. Arnie, just tell us a little bit about this gallery, about this event.
Well, this event is the beginning of a sense that the city has a legitimate art culture that is developing. It works with us at our gallery, it works here, it works over at Fuller, it works with Rolly Blanchette, it works with the Massasoit Theater Company and the work they do there. And there's a developing sense that we have a real working art scene. We send musicians and artists everywhere all the time. People are now coming here on a regular basis to participate, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. We've been working at it for a long time. We're actually very, very pleased that these things are going on. I've just spent 3 days hanging this show with Ducheine. The artist is over there. He and I have worked together for 4 years now. This is the 4th show we've hung together. And he tells me he's aiming straight at the ICA and the MFA, and I'm going to go with him if he lets me.
Well, we found two friends here who are checking out the beautiful artwork. This is Fritz and Valentine. Guys, why don't you just tell me a little bit about yourselves and what drew you to this show?
Actually, I'm an artist myself. I left Haiti a long time ago in 1981, and then we've been showing our work all over the place, at the universities in Massachusetts, somewhere in Vermont, and in New York, so this is our friend showing, so that's why, we had to support him, and as artists ourselves, so we came to support him, Duken, Delpe.
Awesome. What sort of art do you work with? Are you a painter, photographer, sculpture?
Actually, I'm a painter, and we do a lot of drawings, or charcoals, Indian inks, everything you can call watercolors. Yeah.
Excellent. So you're here to support Duken?
I do.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, two friends who are here checking out some of the beautiful artwork that Duken Delpe has put together. Let's check out some more art. So I'm here with another star of the show, not one of the artists, but Sierra Peters is the curator of the Enso Gallery. Sierra, just give us a little window into what it takes to put on a show like this.
Well, first we have to, introduce ourselves to the artist. So luckily we had the artist introduce himself to us via just coming in during one of the days when I was gallery sitting, and we connected via email and we just talked a little bit. I visited his studio and saw the amazing work that you see on the walls. And so after we do a studio visit, we usually decide which pieces, we have a conversation about which pieces, what kind of message he wants to send with the show and things of that nature. What kind of message the art is sending to us, and have a conversation about that. And so we usually go through that process of selecting the artwork and then hanging. After hanging, it's like a bunch of event planning business. That's usually the process, is having the conversation. Honestly, it's just a series of conversations.
How has it been working with Duken? What sort of, how is his relationship with you guys? What did you think of him when you initially met him? How did this all come about?
Well, he told us the stories of how, he won 8th place and placed 8th in the world for the Japanese competition. I can't remember what it was. It was Olympia, I believe. And so we just had a series of conversations, like I said before, and we've had the studio visit, and he showed us, his ideas, his amazing work, and there's so much more to come.
So Duken, thank you so much for exhibiting your work here. It's incredible. I know you're committed to the city, and the fact that you were willing to do the show here at Enso Flats shows your commitment to the city, and thank you so much. We're going to do whatever we have to do to keep you here. You can travel all around the world selling your art, but we want you working out of Brockton, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Welcome to One North Main. I'm Eamon Convey, and we are here at the 31st annual HarborOne Art Show. It is also the second time that they've held a nightly reception for all of these wonderful students to showcase their work, give them a taste of how a real gallery should set up and feel. Let's check out some of the beautiful artwork we have here this evening. Well, we have found one of the most important members here this afternoon, the Director of Art for Brockton Public Schools, Sarah Richards. Sarah, just tell us a little bit about this event.
Well, this is our second annual HarborOne reception. We've had the HarborOne show for 31 years, but this is the second year we've done this night reception. We started getting families to come in, community members. This year we're also part of Art Week, which is going on all around Brockton. So that's exciting, and I think that's bringing in more community members. And it just gives us an opportunity to share the unbelievable work that our kids are doing and the work that our teachers are doing with the community. Lots of times that stuff doesn't get out. They don't get to come in and see it. And it's exciting to see everybody coming in. And this year we have the live band, thanks to Mr. Macrina. So it's just got everybody in the mood. And I think it's just really great. It lets the kids experience a real art opening. If they were going to display stuff in a gallery, this is what it would be like. You'd invite your family, your friends, the community. You'd have some music, have some food, and it's just a good time.
Great music, really good hors d'oeuvres, and just a nice chance for these kids to get a feel, as you said, for what a real gallery opening might be like. Now, I have to ask, are you an artiste, as they say?
I am a photographer, yes. I went to Mass College of Art for photography, so we have a lot of kids that end up going to Mass Art or UMass Dartmouth for art. We actually took a big field trip a couple weeks ago. We went to Mass Art for a big tour and the Museum of Fine Arts, and that was a grant through Target. Melanie Blood, one of our art teachers, organizes it, and we have a great time. So it's nice. A lot of our kids go on and pursue art as a career and a major.
So we're here with Melanie Blood at the second annual HarborOne Art Show. Melanie, just tell us a little bit about this event.
Yeah, sure. We used to have the art show that was just during the day, and we decided that it would be nice to invite the community in and other students to come in to be able to see the show. So we put this together a couple of years ago, just thinking that we'd get some traffic, and it's actually turned into a pretty successful event where we've actually had, the culinary department downstairs making the food. We've got some music from the band. And then we have some flowers from the landscape architecture class, so we kind of tried to bring everyone together to make it happen.
So we're down low here at the second annual HarborOne Art Show. There's art all over the place, and I found senior Zach Seidlinger. He's going to tell us a little bit about the piece he's got hanging right here.
Well, honestly, there's not entirely too much to say, except for I started this in December and finished it around the middle of January. Long story behind that. But I decided to intentionally make a lot of the pieces in this unfinished or seem to look incomplete, because my theory behind it was things don't necessarily need to look finished in order to be finished. And a lot of the things I drew in the background have meanings. For instance, the Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse symbolize me and my girlfriend because we have promise rings with Mickey and Minnie on them. This, my love of drawing. Bob's Burgers, because that's one of my favorite cartoons. Stuff like that. And overall, I'm pretty proud of it. I like it.
This is Cassidy Gonsalves, and we're going to have her explain this beautiful work of art that she's made. Cassidy, take it away.
Well, basically, this is a piece that's based off of Aura, actually. It didn't take me too long. The back is actually ink, and I want it to be pretty texturized. And it's literally a mixed medium. It's literally everything: pen, charcoal, chalk, acrylic paint, wire, and glue. So it took me actually a few weeks, but for an artist, that's not that long. So yeah, but I just basically did it off of Aura. I had a book that was about Aura, so I wanted to focus all my pieces around Aura.
This is the Brockton Public Library, where recently they hosted the Art Teachers of Brockton art show. Obviously, these are some professionals here teaching the young artists. Let's go inside, see what they're creating, and support some local art teachers.
So I have a goal to see every lighthouse in New England. So this is the Portland headlight that's up in Maine, and we have Race Point Light in P-Town. I think they just come together with the theme. I'm trying to get more into landscapes. I'm trying to find my niche in painting, so I think this is it. My love for lighthouses is definitely coming through in my artwork. And I'm just inspired by going on the adventures. This one was about a 2-mile walk with the tide coming in, so it was a race to get there and definitely a race to get back.
This is a piece that I worked on throughout the year. It's made out of earthenware clay, and it's fired doing a raku firing. Basically what I do with the pot is I heat it up to over 1400 degrees. I actually pull it out of the kiln while it's still hot. I put it in a reduction chamber, basically a trash can full of combustibles, and that's what gets all the dark colors. So that's kind of how I made this piece. I make a lot of other pieces doing the same kind of primitive kind of techniques, firing in the ground, firing outside. So I'm inspired by a lot of Japanese, primitive Japanese pieces. And really I just flatten out a piece of clay and I start working with it, and I kind of just keep going from there. And that's really how I make my pieces.
This is an annual event. It's all the K-12 art teachers that are practicing artists get to display their work. So while they're teaching kids how to do art, they're making their own art, which is really important because they're modeling that artistic process for kids. So it's a great opportunity for us to show off their professional work and also their teaching work. So if you go downstairs in the library, the K-8 art show is up for this week also. So it's really nice to see what's going on down there and what's going on up here. And sometimes you can make a connection between a piece of artwork that a teacher was doing for their professional work and how they've brought it into the classroom. So it's an exciting event for us.
This is the newly reclaimed Stacey Adams Cultural Building, and just off to my left is Gallery 33. In this beautiful space, John Adams recently closed his gallery. Hanging alongside his artwork was another local Brockton legend in Fritz Ducheine. We spoke to both of the gentlemen, and let's go inside the gallery and see some of their beautiful artwork.
Come on now, I hear you feeling down. I can't teach you pain, get you on your feet again. Relax, need some information first. Just the basic facts. Can you show me your evidence?
Featured artist here this evening at Gallery 33 is John Adams, and he has two lovely pieces hanging on the wall just to his right, and we are going to have him just give us a little description of both and talk about his inspiration.
Well, I had a friend of mine at work that had a father that was an engineer for a steam engine, and he said it would be great if I could do something for him, which I had. It came out so good, I had to do a couple more pieces. But I didn't want to do something out of New York. I wanted something more local that's New England and Massachusetts. There go John Adams New England Scenes. So my bottom piece is out of North Adams. It's called the Hoosac Tunnel. It was drawn from 1945 when it was just changing over from diesel to what was coal furnace fuel that used to get smoke all through the tunnel, so to choke people up. So what they have in here is electronics, where they'd have electronic pull-up that pulled the train through so people didn't get smoked out. And then later on, it just went to diesel, and they no longer needed that electrical wiring, so that all came down. But I wanted to capture all that history of when it was the Hoosac Tunnel. And the top one is North Conway. It was Frankenstein's Trestle. I used to go up North Conway and all the mountain scenes and everything else. And as of late, they had a dinner train that goes far right out over this trestle, but it doesn't look like that today. But that's when it was first built in 1982, I believe it was, made out of metal. And I found that very fascinating. So I went down to the Appalachian Mountain Club, found their first postcard, which I created this illustration from. So these two pieces, and there was a third piece again that I did for my friend. But it was a lot of fun. I've gone to shows with these train shows, but I found out people didn't buy art, they like to buy stuff for their trains. So I kept them, and I just keep on showing them and sell them where I can. And that's the pieces. And thanks.
Fritz, tell us a little bit about some of your inspirations for the beautiful artwork we see behind you.
In the beginning, I started with watercolors, and I painted a lot of landscapes, a lot of forests in Haiti. And then when I moved to the U.S. in 1981, and then I moved to Vermont, and I compared the similarity of the landscapes of Vermont and Haiti, and I see some really good print in there. And, I kept on doing the work, and until I meet different people, and different culture, and I really try to just to see, because I see something different, and I try to bring some harmony between my work and the people. So that's why you might see some of my work look a little bit different, but I always can go back to whatever I did in the past, So it's a pleasure doing it. So.
Come on now, I hear you feeling down. I can't teach you pain, get you on your feet again. Relax, need some information first. Just the basic facts.
Almost forgot about you guys. Sadly, that just about does it for our art edition of One North Main. Don't forget, guys, check out our website at bcatv.org. You can also find some of our streaming content at youtube.com/the Brockton channels. For everybody at One North Main, I'm Eamon Convey.
Thank